Hello, this is actually Science Set 1, Paper 2. Okay, so let's look at question 21. You should have the paper beside you. Okay, Larry conducted an experiment to study the rate of evaporation of water placed in 3 containers. She poured 80 ml of water into each of the 3 containers. She placed the 3 containers on the tables beside a window. She recorded the amount of water left in each container at regular interval and plotted the graph. Okay, so container E is right in the middle. So fill in the blanks above with F of G. We represented the amount of water left in the container respectively. Okay, the answer for here must be G, okay, with the most amount of water left, and followed by F here with the least amount of water. Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you why is the answers like that. Okay, first of all, rate of evaporation. Okay, some of the factors that affect this, first of all, the foremost important one is actually exposed surface area. Okay, the bigger the exposed surface area, the faster evaporation actually happens. So this is the case of container F. Yes, a wide surface area is able to actually evaporate faster. Okay, the second major one is actually temperature. Okay, the higher the temperature, the faster it evaporates. The third is actually wind. Alright, the windier it is, the more wind it is, the faster evaporation takes place. So do remember these 3 key points that actually affects the rate of evaporation. Okay, we move to the B part. In a washing machine, 4 towels of the same material, thickness and size will wash and spun to rid of excess water. These 4 towels were folded the same way and put to dry on the table as shown. Not all the towels dry at the same time. Which one of the towels will dry first? Give a reason. Okay, so obviously towel A will actually dry first. Okay, so the answer is towel A. Okay, and why will towel A actually dry first? It's because you see carefully, it is on the top layer, it is exposed to the air. It's the largest exposed surface area. Okay, so towel A, okay, will dry first. Okay, it has the largest exposed surface area, so the rate of evaporation, okay, evaporation, please know how to spell evaporation, is the greatest. Okay, so that's the answer for 22B. Okay, question 22. The diagram shows the reproductive organs of a male and a female. Okay, and we must label and name the male and female parts that produce the reproductive cell. Okay, so the first one is here. This is actually your testes, right? And this actually produce your sperms. Whereas for the girls, the female part, this is the ovary. This is where your egg is actually produced. Alright. Okay. For the purpose of family planning, a medical procedure was carried out on the male such that the tubes were cut and tied. Clearly explain how the medical procedure will prevent pregnancy from occurring. Okay, so basically your sperms are all produced here. Okay, and they actually travels through this tube to your penis, and for the sperms to actually comes out, for reproduction happens. So by actually cutting off the tubes here, okay, sperm could not flow through, and thus pregnancy will be prevented. So your answer is, for here is, okay, the sperm produced, okay, by the testes will not be able to move into the female reproductive organ to fuse with the egg. Okay, so the sperm produced by the testes will not be able to move into the female reproductive organ to fuse with the egg. Okay, we move to question 23 now. The chart shows how the human body receives air. Okay, so inhale air will flow to system C and then we exhale it. So system C will then pass to system B, to all parts of the body. Okay, so obviously, okay, system C is your respiratory system, okay, while system B is your circulatory system because they actually transport to all parts of the body. So your first answer, system B is actually circulatory system. Okay? Now they want us to identify gas Y and explain why is it important for B to deliver gas Y to all parts of the body. Okay. If you look carefully, okay, inhale air comes into your respiratory system, okay, passes to your system B, and your system B actually pumps all this gas Y to all parts of the body. Why do we need gas Y, all parts of the body? It must be oxygen. Alright, oxygen is needed to do work. Alright, so first of all, the answer here is oxygen. Right, and why is it important to have gas Y? Because oxygen is needed to break down digested food into energy which we need. Okay, so oxygen is important because it's needed to break down digested food into energy which we need. That's why when we exercise, we need more oxygen. This is the main reason. Okay, we move on to question 24 now. Krishnan carried out an investigation with a pair of cells, a plant cell and an animal cell. Okay, if you see very carefully, you see that this is actually the animal cell because it do not have a cell wall. While this has a regular shape, this must be the plant cell. Right? He placed one plant cell and one animal cell in pure water as shown. Okay, so what happened is the animal cell actually burst, while the plant cell remained the same shape and did not burst. Explain the difference in his observation when the two cells were placed in pure water. Okay. Okay, the main difference, okay, here is that the plant cell has a cell wall, while the animal cell do not have a cell wall. Okay, so what happened is okay, the animal cell do not have cell wall to prevent it from bursting. Okay, while the plant cell has a cell wall to prevent it from bursting. Okay, so you need to know that the key concept here is about cell wall. Okay, cell wall gives the plants a shape, and that's why it keeps the plant the same shape, see, same shape, and did not burst. Okay, that's the answer for question 24. Okay, we move on to question 25 now. He has Ali laid 2 towels, A and B, in a container each. Ken poured 500 ml of water onto each towel and found that kitchen B towel absorbed more water. Give a reason why B actually absorbed more power. Because, okay, if you look carefully, towel A is actually like a straight line, while towel B is a cursive. So the main difference is that B has a greater exposed surface area. Okay, for more water to be absorbed. Alright, so towel B has a larger surface area for more water to be absorbed compared to towel A. The diagram below shows a small part of the small intestine. The foldings seen in B resembles microvilli, okay, microvilli, which is the, okay, this is the one, same, okay, found in the small intestine. Based on the information, suggest a reason how having so many tiny structures help in the process of absorption, okay, in the human body. Same reasoning as the towel, okay, by having such a structure here, like this, okay, you see cursive, okay, it creates a greater surface area to increase the rate of absorption, okay, of food. Okay, that's why you actually have in this shape, because same thing, once again, it has a greater surface area. Okay, we move on to question 26. The diagram below shows the changes of a flower X. Okay, the base of the swell. Okay, actually this process most probably is that the ovules inside the ovary is being fertilized. So the ovary starts to swell, and then eventually it actually becomes a fruit. So name the part that has swell and the process that must occur right before the swelling occurs. Right before, alright? So question 26, okay, the part is actually the ovary. And the process that takes place must be the fertilization. S-A-T-I-O-N, okay, fertilization. Okay, what is the purpose of farmers using cotton swab to rub against part A, then part B of the flower? Okay, so part B is actually the female part, while part A is the male part, which is actually the anther. And the anther actually produce pollen grains. Alright, so what is the purpose of the farmer to do it? It is to let pollen grains, okay, stick onto the stigma. So in this case, this cotton swab here is actually like the bees and the butterflies, alright, help to actually fertilize the flower. Okay, question 27. Okay, their organism A and B are classified according to the type of reproduction that they go through. So if B is sexual, that means you need 2 partners. Okay, for A here must be asexual. Alright, that's the opposite of sexual. Which of the organism, A or B, is definitely a human? Explain your answer. Okay, the answer is B. Okay, because B undergoes sexual. I just mentioned that sexual means you need a male and a female sex cells to fuse together. So the answer for this is humans, right, need a female sex cell and a male sex cell to reproduce. Okay, and this is actually the meaning of a sexual. Okay, you need both a male and a female. That's the answer. Okay, we move on now to question 28. The diagram shows the movement of water in the plant. What happens to the water after it reaches the leaves? Okay, so the water will be absorbed by the roots and then it brought up all the way to the leaf. So what happens to it? Okay, water is used by plants to make food. Okay, because the process of photosynthesis, you need carbon dioxide, you need water, okay, and water and sunlight to make food. Right. Next, draw an arrow to represent the movement of food. Okay, the arrow must be downwards, okay, pointing, because the food is actually made by leaves. So leaves from the top part of the plant transport the food downwards towards the roots for storage. Okay, next, the arrows below shows the flow of blood in a human body. State one difference between the direction of movement of water in plants okay, and the direction of blood in the human body. Okay, you see carefully, water in a plant, they only move upwards, okay, because they're from the roots, they move upwards to all the leaves. Okay, now you get to see this flow of blood in the human body, and you notice that the blood actually flows in two directions, towards the heart and away from the heart. So what's the one difference is, okay, the water moves in one direction, but the blood flows in double direction. Okay, so this is the key difference. Okay, we are at question 29 now. The graph below shows the amount of oxygen in blood sample A, B, C, D. Okay, below is a simplified diagram of the circulatory system of a human. Blood sample A, B, C, D are taken from vessels from different pathways in the circulatory system. In the boxes, label it A, B, C, D. Okay, for this, we need to draw a model first, okay, which is your lungs, followed by your heart, followed by all parts of your body. Okay, your lungs will take in air rich in oxygen, pumps it and transport it to your heart. Your heart will pump the oxygen-rich blood to all parts of the body for your body to use. Your body, after using the blood, will pump blood rich in carbon dioxide for your heart to pump it out to your lungs to actually get it out. Okay, so if you see very carefully, from heart, okay, to all parts of your body, okay, it looks like this. Okay, heart to all parts of your body, okay, that will actually be here. They have to be rich in oxygen. Alright, so it would have to be B, D. Okay, because B has the highest, you just taking the air through your lungs. Okay, your heart uses some of it and then pump the rest of it out, so it's D. Now, if you see carefully the arrow sign, okay, heart towards the lungs, okay, you see that this two is actually carbon dioxide, and you would actually have A and C here. Okay, A is the least amount of oxygen left before you actually breathe it out. Okay, explain why blood sample A contains a greater amount of carbon dioxide. Okay, because Okay, why is it contains okay, the carbon dioxide, okay, is actually carried away by the blood to the lungs to be removed. Okay, that's why there's more carbon dioxide there, because the purpose of it is to actually remove carbon dioxide. The graph shows the change in silver height from birth to 25 years old. Okay, Jonah, look at the graph and make the statement below. Silver cells stop dividing at the age of 20. Is her statement correct? Explain your answer. Okay, no. The answer is no. Okay, silver cells stop growing do not stop growing. Okay, silver stop growing taller, but his cells continue to divide, okay, throughout his life to replace old and damaged cells. Please remember that cell division, okay, occurs to replace old and damaged cells. Okay, we move to the part B now. Jonah observed some yeast cells under a high magnification. She observed that X, Y, Z are different from the rest. What process is taking place in X, Y, Z? Okay, I believe you can't see very clearly. Okay, if I'm not wrong, this is X, this is Y, this is Z. Okay, you can see that they are different because there's something protruding out. Actually, they are going under something called budding. Alright, yeast is undergoing something called budding. This is the process that's taking place now. Okay, question 31. Siti is giving two types of cell, A and B. She wanted to conduct an experiment to identify the plant cell from the animal cell. Okay, so she has a bottle of iodine, lime water, microscope, and dropper. Which material should she choose for the experiment? Okay, so she should actually choose the iodine solution. Okay, because iodine is actually used to test for the presence of starch. So if the cell has starch, then you'll be able to prove that it is actually a plant cell. Okay, we also need a microscope, and we also need a dropper, not the lime water. Always remember that lime water, okay, is used to test for the presence of carbon dioxide. Okay, nothing to do with plant or animal cell. Describe how she should conduct. Okay, so she should apply few drops, okay, of iodine solution on X. Okay, X is these two specimens here. Alright, and then using the dropper, apply few drops on Y. Alright, and then observe the cell using
the microscope. So what observation will help us to identify the plant cell? Okay, the presence of cell wall. Okay, if the cell actually has a regular shape as a cell wall, it must be a plant cell. So the presence of cell wall and whether the cell has a regular shape. Okay, we are at question 32 now. I observe there's two different types of cell X and cell Y. If you look at cell X, this must be a plant cell because they are regular shape and then they actually have a cell wall. While cell Y must be animal shape, animal cell. So name the two types of cell. Alright, so cell X is actually plant cell, or cell Y is animal cell. Do you think cell X and cell Y are able to make food? Explain your answer. No. Okay. Because they both do not have chloroplast, which contains chlorophyll to trap light and make food. Okay, so do you think are able to make food? Answer is no, because they do not have chloroplast, which actually contains chlorophyll to trap light and make food. Okay, so you actually have, if you see question 33, you see that there's 5 pictures of different flowers. Some flowers are grow together in clusters while some grow singly. So classify all the flowers. Okay, so one will put under cluster. It means there's more than one flower growing together, and the other one we can actually call it a solitary, which is a singular. Alright, if you see carefully, you have B, C, E, and here you have D and A. Okay, so question C, plant A, C, D, E can also be classified by the characteristics of their leaf. What characteristics of the leaf can be used? Okay, we can actually use the edge of the leaf. Okay, this is actually one of the common ones. Alright, whether is it jagged or whether is it a full lobe, edge of the leaf. Okay, question 34, I won't be going through because it's actually based on MANEX, and then MANEX won't be tested in this CA2. Okay, thank you for listening. If you do not understand any question, please listen again to the explanation. Thank you. Work hard.